I've been mentioning some of the damage that this filthy pig, Donald Trump, is doing to the environment, to our kids, to us. Um, he's a real schmuck. I mean, just a total son of a bitch. The latest, and I might have mentioned this earlier, the New York Times had a piece in today about the bastard expected to roll back an Obama era. Notice how these are all Obama era regulations. That's what drives Trump crazy. Obama really did try, whether you liked him or not, it really doesn't matter. He made several efforts to try to make it easier for us to live our lives. He did. He saved the country from a total fucking depression in 2008 when he took office. He took office at a time when whether or not this country was going to go into a depression, a second depression, was up in the air. Nobody really knew. And Obama immediately put into play on the advice. Oh, Obama's not an economist, but he hired people to work in his administration who understood exactly what to do, and they did it. Oh, you can't bail out the car industry. Oh, you can't bail out the banking industry. Now, I hate banks. I fucking hate banks, okay? And all of a sudden, I hate car manufacturers. But the fact is, 11 years ago, almost 12, if Obama and his government had turned its back on those major industries, you and I wouldn't be talking right now unless we had generators here to generate some energy. Well, we wouldn't have anything. We'd have another depression. But beyond that, the rules that Obama had put in place regarding the environment were designed to make it easier for us to eat food that won't kill us 20 years before we should die, breathe air that won't kill us 20 years before we should die, drink water that won't kill us 20 years before we should die. What did Obama get out of putting those regulations into effect? Not a goddamn thing, except the knowledge that he had done something to help us all. And then along comes this fucking slug Donald Trump and starts undoing everything. I hate this man. So now, the Trump bastard is going to roll back an Obama-era regulation meant to limit the leaching of heavy metals like arsenic, lead, and mercury into water supplies in the ground from the ash of coal-fired plants, according to people familiar with the plans. Now, this is an issue that Bob Kincaid has devoted enormous amount of time to try to get Congress to understand what the fuck is going on with these slurry pits, this coal ash, this poison. I would like to see Donald Trump go for a swim in one of these coal ash pits that are full of arsenic and lead and mercury. Go ahead, you son of a bitch. If it's not going to hurt anybody, go swim in it. God. With a series of new rules expected in the coming days, the Environmental Destruction Agency, it used to be the EPA, now it's the EDA, will move to weaken the 2015 regulation that would have strengthened inspections and monitoring at coal plants. It would have lowered levels of toxic effluent, and it would have required plants to install new technology to protect water supplies from poison. But Trump said, oh, fuck you, Obama. I want those rules gone. The Environmental Destruction Agency will relax those requirements. Relax. Isn't that a lovely word? Relax. And exempt a significant number of power plants from any of the requirements. That's relaxation, bro. According to two people familiar with the Trump administration plan, who requested anonymity because they were not authorized to speak about the new rules. Oh, Trump hates leaks, doesn't he? Now, this is part of a whole series of deregulatory efforts by this orange pig in the White House aimed at extending the lives of these old coal-fired power plants that have been shutting down in the face of competition from cheaper natural gas and renewable energy generators like windmills and hydropower, solar power. No, we got to stop that shit. Coal ash, which is the residue produced from burning coal in these power plants, was dumped for years in holding areas near power plants, largely without regulation. But it came to the public's attention after spills in North Carolina and Tennessee sent mercury, cadmium, arsenic, and other heavy metals from the ash into water supplies. Water supplies that provide drinking water to farms and suburbs and cities and farm animals and human animals. But the extraction industry doesn't give a shit. They don't care. Fuck you. You little snowflake, quit your bitching. Little arsenic never hurt anybody. Little mercury, little lead, little cadmium. Shut up. Okay, boomer. And then somebody in the Environmental Destruction Agency that works for this orange monster, her name is Michelle Bloodworth. She's the president and chief executive of the American Coalition for Clean Coal Electricity. There is no such thing as clean coal. That's like saying clean mud or visible air, which we have now. Clean coal is a term invented by the neo-fascists in this country to keep people like you and me off balance, off guard, so it will say, well, it's clean coal that's turning the skies dark and murky and Anyway, Miss Michelle Bloodworth said, we support reasonable regulations for coal ash and non-coal ash byproducts that protect health and the environment. But it is important that regulations not cause unnecessary retirements or idling of coal-fired power plants, because they are necessary to ensure that consumers have a reliable, resilient, and affordable electricity supply, end quote, Michelle Bloodworth, President and CEO of the American Coalition for Clean Coal Electricity. Yay! You fucking liar! You liars, all of you who come up with this shit, clean coal. We support reasonable regulation. That's what Trump is giving her. Reasonable regulation. The most reasonable regulation to these vampires is no regulation. That's really reasonable.
Greetings, truth seekers. It's that time of year again. Time to help your humble and obedient podcaster keep it lit by keeping the lights on in the Malloy studio with a podcast pledge drive. All October, we are giving away freebies, goodies, and gifts as thank yous for subscribing or renewing your Malloy podcast at the Trump recession level reduced price of $49 a year. It's a different giveaway each week, truth seekers. Everything from an autographed copy of Mike's book, Colored Ice Cream, to my holiday baked goods. Already have a Malloy podcast? Well, it makes a great gift. And remember, podcast subscribers also get exclusive access to the weekend bonus shows, which might be hosted by Mike or by me. We even have a teen show coming up featuring Molly and her friends. Just visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe or renew today. Keep it lit.